everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Fingers crossed that this loads on time because I am taping this so late. And the reason I'm taping this so late is I just got back from not just, but recently got back from the NAFTA show featuring Creativation Orlando, Florida, which is a trade show for us retailers to go see all the latest and greatest that is coming your way from not only paper crafting manufacturers, but fine art manufacturers as well. And in fact, I have some fine art product that I have in this YouTube that is so stunning and so beautiful and so affordable. It's lovely when you can get better quality for a lower price. That just makes my heart happy. So today I've got Stampendous. I have got Simple and Basic, new stamps from Stampendous that were designed just for us, so we have them exclusively here first. Then Simple and Basic has released a few more mini Slimline dies, and I brought those in. And then I have this beautiful fine art product from Royal Talons and Bronzil colored pencils. Swoon, I tell you, swoon. And when you see the price on those colored pencils, for the quality that they are, I promise it will make your heart happy. So I've got oodles of technique to share and show with you today. I really do. And if you're joining us for the first time, please welcome, please subscribe. And if you're joining us during the live chat, you'll see we're chatting on the side. Just type in where you're from and we'd love to say hello to you. Welcome to the SMS family. These are full-length technique-based classes, so they may be a little longer than you're used to, but the idea is to really show you how to use the product. That's the most important thing, how to take something that you may not necessarily know about or feel the most confident in and really give you the ability to make something magic. So I've got winner chicken dinner to talk about. I've got actually two sets of winners because last week we taped early as well since I was leaving for the show. I also want to let you know that we have the warehouse sale coming up on April 22nd. It starts April 22nd, 12 noon, sunny California time. And we won't be having it in store. It's usually the Shop That Did Not Hop event. But since everything's happened the way it is and just trying to keep everybody healthy and safe, we've opted to just do it online this year. Maybe next year we'll be back in store and online. But our big phenomenal warehouse sale where you get dies and embossing folders at up to 90% off. Yes, you heard that. 90% off. We'll start on the 22nd at 12 noon. We've got Hero Arts and we've got Creative Expressions and we've got Spellbinders and we've got Memory Box and we've got Lawn Fawn and up to 90% off. Now there will be a video with the terms and conditions of this sale because if you are new to our channel or new to this sale, you will want to watch that video. It is important that you watch that video so then you can make an informed decision on whether you want to participate in getting a $20 die for $1.99 or if you're like, nope, I tap out, not for me. We want to give you all the information. So look for that video coming soon. And let's do winner chicken dinner and get that done with. So these people know if they've got $25 in their online account to go and spend. Usually we pick 2 winners every YouTube. I had to skip one YouTube, so I have 4 winners for you today. Are you ready? Okay, our first winner is Deborah Levance. Hello, Deborah Levance. How are you doing? If that is you, you have $25 in your online account, and holy smokes, artichokes, I think you're going to find that $25 is going to get you something pretty special today, or you could save it for the warehouse sale. And gosh, if you got 25 items, they'll be 99-cent items, like $10 dies for 99 cents. You could get $250 worth of product for $25 if you got everything at 90% off. Wow. Okay, our second winner is Sharon. Sharon, is it Ivy? Sharon, is that you? If it is, you're a winner chicken dinner as well. And gosh, you may see something you love today, but I would definitely maybe wait until the 22nd to use your winnings, because $25 now could be so much more money. Our next winner is Robina Felker. Hello, Robina. How are you doing? Congratulations to you. You also have $25 in your online account. And last but not least, we have Nancy Goletz. Nancy, it doesn't matter how I pronounce it. The fact is you're still a winner chicken dinner. Holy smokes, artichokes. So we had Nancy, we had Robina, we had Sharon, and we had Deborah. Congratulations to all 4 of you. Spend the money any way that makes your heart happy. Me being me and frugal and wanting to get the most out of my money, I would wait until the warehouse sale, where you can find things from Memory Box, Creative Expressions, Lawn Fawn, Spellbinders. I just, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. Hero Arts. You may be able to take that $25 and stretch it a really long way. But watch the video before you place your order. Yes. Okay, we got to do the winner chicken dinner dance for these girls. Are you ready? You're a winner chicken dinner. You're a winner chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo. For you. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy your winnings. If you want a chance to be a winner chicken dinner, all you have to do is post a comment down below, which means you have to subscribe, hit the little heart over here, and subscribe to our channel. Post your comment down below. We approve them before you see them. So if you don't see it right away, don't worry about it. It's okay. SMS guy James will take a look at it. He'll approve it, and he might even write back to you, but he only is allowed to do that on his lunch hour. So sometimes he's able to say hi to a few of you, and then you'll go into the running to be a winner chicken dinner. Now again, today I have got exclusive product from Stampendous, Swoon. I asked them to do this for me. I asked for this product and they did it. And then new dies from Simple and Basic, which is an international company that I love. And the name really is the truth. They're very simple and they're very basic. But these mini Slimlines, we did a first collection a while ago, and then these are new to that collection. So we hope you enjoy them. And then the Bronzil colored pencils, I literally took home from the show. I brought them right home from the booth. They only had 2 sets to give me. I saw them. I had to have them. I needed them. I asked nicely, can I take these home so I can YouTube them on Friday? And they said yes. So I think we'll get started for today. If you do have a switch machine, I want to let you know we're just waiting for Ellison to give us the thumbs up that they're ready for us to start sending orders through again as they go through and quality control their machines. So they do a double quality control, and just as soon as I get information from them that we can send the next round of machines on off, I will let you know that we've done that. So hang tight and stay tuned for the 22nd. It's going to be rock star. Yay, and watch the video. All right, I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started for today. It's good to see everybody. Bye. Oh, I can't stress enough. Watch the video. People are like, I ask when they call, did you watch the video? Well, I meant to, but no. It's like, Okay, look at this. How darling is this? New from Stampendous, a mini Slimline stamp. And then we have got new mini Slimline dies from Simple and Basic. And actually, this is the mini Slimline right here. This one right here is the mini Slimline, but the girls ended up making it into a full Slimline card. Isn't that nice to know that you have options? You could do it either way. So pretty. And this little mini Slimline has little stars in it. And then I have the last one for you. So beautiful. Again, a stamp from Stampendous. And I have mini Slimline in there and they just made it spectacular. So where do we want to start today? I think I'm going to start, well, I'm going to pull a stamp out right away just because I think we need to talk about these stamps. First off, do you have to use them with a mini slimline? No, they're just a beautiful size. They're not too big, they're not too small. Yes, you could put them on an A2 card or an A6 card or a 5x7 card. Absolutely, you can make a tag out of them, a bookmark out of them. But I think the first thing I want to really talk to you about is how they come off the liner. So this is a cling stamp. It's rubber underneath, which gives you beautiful detail, absolutely beautiful detail. But it's a little tricky. Some of the Stampendous stamps, they have cut around the clear cling, and so when you pull the liner off, it's a clean cut all the way around. But can you see all the excess I have here? That needs to stay on the stamp. This is the carrier, this is the liner piece that goes on top. But on the 6 sets that I have for you today, you do not want to accidentally peel this off. Now, if you want to trim this down yourself, that's fine. The clear just needs to be on the top because that's what's going to allow it to cling to your block or your stamp positioner. You absolutely could go in there and just trim it on down. It's really up to you. Let's see, do I have one over here that? Sure I do. So this is one we used to make samples. So if I start to pull it off, so I've taken my liner, which looks just like the clear top, only it's firm. It's a little more rigid. I've taken that liner off, and now I'm going, well, what do I do with all this extra? Why is that here? Do I take that off too? If I start to peel that off, I'm going to start taking it. No, no. Stop! That needs to stay on. Can I trim it if I want to? Sure I can. As long as I've got some cling, I need to make sure that that cling stays on top of the stamp. But if it's really bothering me, I can absolutely trim it on down. It's up to me whether I want to get rid of it or not. The benefit of having the full cling on there is that it holds to your block or your stamp positioner a little bit better because it's got more. But you have the choice of what you want to do. I just want to be sure that you do not accidentally start to peel it off. It could tear your stamp. You can tell that because I'm peeling it off, I'm taking off the design of the stamp. Stop. Leave this on in its entirety or trim it down to your liking, but do not take it off. All right, so that's where I think we wanted to start. I think that's an important place to start. And then I also think I'm going to talk a little bit about the Brunswick pencils, and I'm going to start with the pastels. So these are new from Brunswick, which is a beautiful company out of Holland. They make the most gorgeous colored pencils. These are not watercolor pencils, so I'm not going to be using any water with them at all today. This is one of their new sets. It is their pastel set. So if you have Brunswick colored pencils, you do not have these colors. These are brand new. Now, what makes colored pencils so useful and wanted by lots of crafters? Well, they are one of the easiest ways to color just about anything. And yes, there's lots of colored pencils on the market, absolutely. And Brunswick would be considered a fine art quality product. However, I just want to be sure, I want to make sure that you're not afraid of a fine art quality product. So fine art really means the quality of the product you're using, not your talent level, not my talent level. I'm not a fine artist, but I use fine art quality products when I can and if I can afford them. Now, the strange thing is in this world of crafting is that you can get a better quality product from the fine art world than you can from the paper crafting world. Anytime something comes, well, often something will come from the paper crafting world, and because it's for card makers or scrapbookers, the price is a little high. However, if you go into the fine art market, not only do you get a better quality product, but for some reason the price seems a little bit lower. Don't know why, but that's the same thing with these Brunswick pencils. I'm going to start with the pastels, and then we're going to move on to the fluorescents, and finally the metallic tones. And in between all of that, I'll be playing with the Stampendous stamps, and at the very end we'll get to the dies. I want to let you know the dies, we have very limited quantities because it's an international company. I bought what they had, and I don't know when I'll be able to get more, but the dies are fabulous. All right, so I'm going to start with my Brunswick pencils, and I'm going to use my pastels, and I'm just going to show you, if you've never used pencils before, what they do. So let's grab some white paper, and again, there are your colors, and I want to say that these are going to run, I don't know, maybe $13 for the set, which is really, really great. So let's start with some colors, and maybe these. So what do fine art pencils do? Well, if you were to color with them, you can kind of see that it leaves a rough color, almost like you're coloring with a crayon, right? And we do have we'll put all the Brunswicks on sale. This is the 24 pack of the original colors. 24 pack of the original colors. And I think I'll just pull one out that is kind of comparable. Just so we can see. Okay, that looks good. So again, it kind of has a rough crayon looking texture to it. And I don't want that at all. So I'm going to use something called Mineral Spirits or Gamsol. And it's in a bottle like this. You do have to make sure it's tightly sealed. It can evaporate over time. We don't have that problem, but we seal ours pretty tightly. And I'm going to use a paper stub, which is what this is. Paper stub is just compressed paper made into a little blending, and it's going to take a little bit of the Gamsol, and it's going to soften this whole look out. Let's see if I can go down just a little bit more and zoom in just a little bit. Whoop, wrong direction, sorry. Okay, so my paper stub already has color on it, and I'm just going to sand that off. And that's how you sharpen these, is you take a little sander, and we have a whole kit that comes with the stub and the sander and the Gamsol, and you literally just sand the paper until the color that you want is gone. Because all it is compressed paper. And poof, it's gone. Now Gamsol you want to use sparingly. Because this is compressed paper, if I were to stick my stub all the way inside, it's so absorbent, it's so porous that the stub would just grab that Gamsol, and you'd see it change, my stub darken in color as I absorb more and more of the Gamsol. You want to be sure not to do that, because you can never get the Gamsol back out of your stub, and it's going to dry, and then it's gone. So the Gamsol that we use is from Art Gone Wild and Friends, and it has this little foamy top on which is kind of nice, because I can put a little Gamsol up there and then dip my little stub into it, and you can see where it's darkened because it's now wet. If you have mineral spirits or Gamsol that does not have something like this on the top, just go get yourself a little cup from Chipotle or wherever, a little sample cup, and put a couple cotton swabs, little cotton balls in there, and put some Gamsol in there, because then you, and just a little, and then you can put your stubby right in there and not go through too much Gamsol. Now the thing about Gamsol is when you use it, it's going to take this waxy pencil and it's going to melt it almost like a paint. It's going to change it from that crayon looking, and it's just going to soften out and make it more like a paint. So I'm going to get rid of all of those lines that I don't like, and I'm going to just do about half of each of them. So then you can see between what's been done and what hasn't, and how the bottom half still looks like it was a crayon, but the top half has smoothed out, looks beautiful. And you can see the difference between a regular color now and a pastel color, which is important. The pastel colors are soft, they're muted, whereas the regular colors are a little bit more vibrant. So I can just soften this whole thing out, and I can do little swirls, and all of a sudden it looks like I've painted as opposed to used a pencil. They don't make a mess. They're very forgiving. You don't have to wait for anything to dry. It's already dry. You're good to go. They don't have to be set with anything or varnished or lacquered, or it's ready to go. And you can blend them. So what if I took maybe a soft pastel? Yeah, maybe a pink. How about a pink? Let's grab that pink. And let's do some pink here. Okay, so I've done some pink there. And I've still got my kind of peachy color there, and I'm just going to add a little bit more peachy color right to the end, right there. And now I'm going to take my Gamsol, and I'm going to move my peach this way and my pink this way. And you can see I've left negative space there. Negative space is that white area there. And that's going to allow me to kind of get a blend going between the two of them. If I colored them right up next to each other, I've got no place for that colored pencil to move once I take it from a pencil and make it into a paint with the Gamsol. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to kind of pull that peach kind of out. Just kind of pull it on out. And then I'm going to take that pink, and I'm going to pull that pink on in. And I'm going to start making a blend. And it's that white space that really helps me do that. And just soften it up. And without a paintbrush or any water, I was able to make a very nice blend between the two. And it's very, very simple to do. Now this is a really big space I've done here. And most of the time with a colored pencil, you're going to be working within a much smaller space, which I suppose I can do that with this one right here. So as you can see from the stamp, the area that I need to color is much smaller than what I was doing here. Here I was trying to give you an idea of what happens to a colored pencil when you add Gamsol, and I was coloring in a very big space. Typically you don't use, colored pencils don't you don't have a space that big, especially if you're using it with stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp this image up. Put my pencils back, grab my stamp positioner. So I've got the Vassin stamp positioner here. It's got a magnetic, let me back up just a little bit. It's got a magnetic closure as opposed to a hinged closure. And you've got the magnets. I went ahead and I put some washi tape across the top. So I didn't have this one ready to go, but I put some washi tape across the top. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to build a little jig. So without the washi tape there, this is flat and it goes straight through. So if I were to put my paper down, it would continue to move. I want to be able to block my paper in place. So I just took some washi tape and just kind of used maybe 4 or 5 pieces of it to build myself a little jig. So now I've got some height. So now when I take my paper and I put my paper in place, my paper has a stop place. There's a stop right there because I've built some height up and my paper just doesn't slide through. Then I can decide and put my magnets down. Then I can decide where I want to put my stamp. And remember, I haven't peeled off all of that extra. Put my stamp there, I don't know. It's a big piece of paper for my little stamp, but that's okay. Close it up, press down, up it goes, and now my stamp is in position. Now it's stuck there by the cling. Remember all that cling. It's stuck there and it's ready to be inked up. Today I'm going to use my Hero Hues India Ink Black, which allows me to stamp a beautiful image, but also use any kind of water or liquid medium without it making a mess. It's not going to smear. So this again is by Hero Arts. It's their India ink. It's a dye-based ink, and I think we are still the only ones to sell the re-inkers. We specifically asked them to do a re-inker for this, and they did it, and I don't know that they've released it anywhere else yet. It's a great black ink, so if you have Copics or if you have Aussie Andrews alcohol markers for $1.99 a marker, this is going to be a great ink pad for you because you're going to be able to use it with all of that. You're going to be able to use it with colored pencils. You're going to be able to use it with watercolor pencils because the black just won't move. Now with the Vassin stamp positioner, there's not a lot of give. There's not a lot of push because that cling stamp is so thick. So it's kind of nice because you don't have to do too much to it. And pull up, and there's my image. And if I wanted to get my image a little darker, all I have to do is re-ink my stamp, bring it back over, stamp again because it's going to line up each and every time. Kind of nice about a stamp positioner. All right, so now that I've got my image ready to go, let's bring over some of those Bronzell pencils. So I've got the pastels. And I'm going to pick a few of these colors, but my space is so much smaller than what I was showing you before. Before I was just scribbling to give you an idea of what happens when you add the Gamsol. Now I'm working in a much smaller space. So let's take this one's such a pretty color. It's so pretty. I love this color. And I'm going to do just a little bit of my flower. So I'm going to go along the outside edge and the outside edge, and the outside, and the outside, and the outside, and the outside. Can you see what I've done here? I didn't color in my entire flower. Do you see that I've left a lot of negative space? And the negative space is that white space that I haven't colored in yet. I did that for a reason. I need this pencil to become a paint, and I need that paint to move somewhere. If I color my entire flower this color and then I use some Gamsol to smooth out those lines, I'm not going to be able to achieve any shading, any shadowing at all. I need there to be negative space. So I'm going to grab my little stubby, which is compressed paper. I'm going to get some Gamsol on it. And then I'm going to take and pull that color out, giving me an opportunity to get some highs and some lows and not have it just be the same color all the way through. So that's all it took. But I want to add some more shading to it. This is where using colored pencils is a little bit easier than using watercolor pencils. If I was using watercolor pencils, my paper would be wet right now, and I would need to let the paper dry before I add more watercolor pencil to it. Otherwise, you get scratches that you're unable to blend out. But with a colored pencil, I'm able to go back in and add more color, and I'm going right along those stamped lines again. So I'm going to add more color, and then I'm just going to very softly blend that color out, leaving that dark, deep, beautiful color behind, giving me a shadow. It's going to give me my highlight, it's going to give me definition. And now you can see it's got some highlight, some mid-tone, and some shadow. And if I need to, if I want to, I could go back in and again add a little bit more color. And just lightly take it out. Let's do one of the bigger flowers. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to do a little color around some of the bigger flower, one of the bigger flowers. And I'm just following the pattern of the stamp. And I'm just going along the stamped line, putting some of my color in. I'm not going to color the whole thing, and I'm not pressing so hard. You don't need to press hard. You're just trying to lay some color in so that you've got an opportunity to move it when you've added your Gamsol. So can you see I have gone and just layered some color in. I literally followed the lines of the stamp, and now I can take my Gamsol and kind of smooth it in and fill it in and pull it out so it turns almost into a paint. And because these are pastels, the color is soft and smooth. It's wispy in its color as opposed to bold and bright. We'll get to bold and bright with the fluorescence, but with the pastel, it's a little wispy and soft. And now you can see I've started to color in my whole flower. but I can go back like I did before, and I can add some more color where I want it to be a little bit darker, where I want some definition and some detail, where I want, by adding darker color towards the end and not putting any color in the center, it's going to make that highlight even more of a highlight and the shadow even more of a shadow. There's going to be much more contrast. The darker I have my ends of my flowers, the more that mid-tone and that highlight is going to stand out and appear. So just very softly blend. And this isn't hard, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. Now I've added more color to it towards the ends, which makes the highlight, that very soft white highlight where there's very little color, stand out even more. But what if I wanted to add a second color to it? Could I do that? Sure, I can, absolutely. What if I wanted to add in, who knows what it's going to come out like? I have no clue either. Maybe I don't want it to have all that white highlight. Can I add a little bit of something else? Yeah, let's go in. And instead of starting, I've been starting here and working in. I've been starting here and working in, here and working in. Now I'm going to start at the base of my petals and work out with a little bit of pink. And when I say a little bit of pink, I mean a little bit of color. Look at how little color I've put down. Might I have to use more? Sure, maybe, it's possible, but it's always easier to add more than to take away. Okay, it's always easier to add more. Start soft and build your color. Layer your color. Colored pencils are known for being able to go in and build and layer. So now I've got just a touch, just a wink, just a little whisper of a pink. Do I want it more pink? Okay, if that makes my heart happy, I go in and I can add a little bit more. Because it's always easier to add than to take away. I could have left it just in the purple, but I wanted to add a little bit something more. So kids can do, oh, see, that's coming out so pretty. And they just soften right into each other. So pretty. I could do my water. And the stamp is going to kind of tell you where to put your color. So where the lines are is where you're going to put your color. That's where your shading is going to go. That's where you're going to add. Let's see, do I have one in blue? I do have one in blue. Happy day for me. And I'm going to pull that and soften that right out to the center. Did you see how much negative space I left? Look at how much negative space is there. That's because I'm going to pull that color right out to the center. And as I pull it out, it's going to dilute and it's going to soften. And it's going to be much more subtle, giving you your shadow, your midtone, and then your highlight. So I'm just going to pull that color out. I don't want it to all be the same color. I want my water to have some interest to it. To where it's almost white in the center. Almost white. So you've got shading, shadow, and highlight. Almost white in the center. And then I can come back in and let's see if the greens are green enough to do some leaves. Okay, see how I've done the leaves? Just a little bit. Let's see, do I have one with green? That looks green to me. If I didn't, I could just sand it on down and make one. And then I'm just gonna pull that color out. So this one has the color pulled out. This one I haven't yet done. This one I have pulled the color, this one not yet. I'm gonna pull the color on this one and I'm gonna add a little more there. So let's pull the color. And now I wanna add just a little bit more because I want it just a little bit darker on the shadow. So I haven't pulled it out yet. I've added another layer of color over the top. And I'm just gonna pull a little bit, just to soften that demarcation line. That way I keep almost all of that green in that area, giving it even a darker shadow, which then will make my highlight even brighter. Easy to do, and these are the new pastels. Those colors are just beautiful. Beautiful. So I saw them and I said, oh, I have to have them. But all they had were 2 sets at this show. And I said, can I please take them home so I can put them on the YouTube? And they said, well, yeah, but you can't take them until the show ends. So last day I went back. Well, actually, James went back because James wants them too. That's SMS dude James. He really likes colored pencils because he can be successful with them every time. And for a guy who's crafting, that's important to feel like, well, for anybody who's crafting, to feel that they can be successful. So James found Mary at Royal Talons. Our Royal Mary is what we call her. And she made it happen. So Royal Mary made sure that we got to bring home these amazing pencils to show you, where everybody else is still, they just saw them, they just found out about them. So I'm going to add a little pink in there. And I can change up here's my pink. I think that's my pink. No, this is my pink. Is that my pink? Is that my pink? Oh, Stacy. No, go for it. Oh, that's really pink. I got a lot on there. And I'm just going to blend it in. My purple. And just keep creating my flower. Add a little bit of blue. I'm just going to take it straight off I didn't even add any bloom to my stamp. I'm just going to take it straight from my stubby because I just want it to be kind of light. And before you know it, you're creating. So these are the pastels. And they're just gorgeous. I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to put my pastel aside, and I'm going to move over to the fluorescents. Now, I was kind of meh on the fluorescent because I'm kind of a meh fluorescent girl. Like, oh, that's bright. Now, if you showed these to Mr. SMS, he'd be like all over them. My husband wears the brightest. He literally has shoes, sneakers from, I don't know, Nike. Maybe they're this color. You can see people have found him like at a grocery store, not because they saw him. They saw his shoes and know it's him because they are so bright. So I'm like, oh, I just don't know if I'm going to dig on the bright. But I started to play with them, and there's definitely a reason for them. So I'm going to grab another one of my stamps from Stampendous. So pretty. I'm going to take the liner off of it and separate them. Okay, let's see. Feel. There we go. I'm going to leave the rest of the cling, that clear, on it. I'm not going to get rid of it. Let's bring over my stamp positioner. Let's cut my paper in half because that was a really big piece I used last time. Take that right off. And that kind of is nice because then if you don't have a craft mat to work on, this can become your craft mat because you can just put this someplace else. And if you don't have a glass mat, this is nice to have. This can work as a palette. It can be so many things. And because they're separate, you can move it as you need it. Now I'm going to put my paper down. And I like to just kind of butt it on up to the top. I just put my magnets together. Let's put my stamp down. And because it's thick, you're not going to have to like push hard down or at all. You just kind of push to pick it up. It's now attached to my stamp positioner. I'm going to ink it up again. I'm going to be using my Hero Arts India ink, my black India ink. I'm going to put it right back on. Did I just put my finger? No. I'm going to put it right back on. It snaps right down with the magnets, and then I can give a push. So if you find that you get a little hole in your stamp, all you have to do is re-ink it. When I say a hole in your stamp, I mean you've come through and you've stamped it and you've got a little area that did not stamp well. You just re-ink it, lay it right back over the top, give a push, and by George, it takes care of itself. Now this is a beautiful stamp. And you can see, hopefully I can get an image of it. You can see that the detail of the stamp and that ink work perfectly because you are still able to read the sentiment. So you're saying, okay, but let's get back to the colored pencils and the pretty stamp. I know, okay, I'm coming. So the fluorescents are very fluorescent until you use them. Paper has two sides, so I'm just gonna go on the back and let's pop one out. Okay, very, very pink. Very blue. Woo-wee. Yeah, those are fluorescent. And when you go in and you use them, because we're using such little flowers, I don't even know that I'll use Gamsol. If I did, what would I get? So there's my pink. Let's do my blue. And I think I'm going to sharpen this and just get some of the old blue off. And then once this is no longer able to sharpen, you just take it off and you've got another piece of sandpaper right underneath it. So now I've got a clean blue. Let's put a little Gamsol on there. You can see that it's now a little wet. And I can take and soften my blue. And you can see the difference from just coloring with it versus adding the Gamsol. And again, because these are so small, I don't even know that I'm going to need it. But because they're so small, it's the bright colors that really make them stand out. Is that my pink? Is that my pink? Yeah, I'm going to sand my pink real quick just to get nice sharp tip. Okay, that looks pretty good. A little bit of Gamsol. And I don't even know that I need to use really, because the flowers are so small, but I want them to be a nice bright color. If I use a pencil that doesn't have that brightness of color, and just soften them right out. And let's do this one down here. And let's do this one right here. And we'll do that one right there. And I can take a little bit of my Gamsol if I want, because those flowers are a little bit bigger. Just pull that color out. And it doesn't look so fluorescent-y anymore. Yeah, it doesn't look so fluorescent-y anymore. I can just go in on some of these really small little ones and just color it in and not use any Gamsol at all. All up to you what you want it to look like. But the fluorescents definitely have a place where you need pops of color. And let's do this one in blue, and this one in blue, this one in blue, and in blue, and then maybe orange. And before you know it, we've got our whole little our whole little flower all filled in, whether we use the Gamsol or not. Okay, so I've got those going. A little bit of Gamsol in some of the bigger ones just to pull that color out. And all of a sudden it's not quite as bright as it seemed. But it still gives me that pop of color because it started with such an intense color. So cute. They're so cute. If I want it more, I just add more. Or I go in and I just color it with the blue and don't worry about adding any Gamsol at all. And leaving it that super intense color. Let's see, where's an orange? A little bit of Gamsol. And we'll do our orange. So for me, I like to go in and color all my colors first and then come back with my Gamsol. And pop. Easy, but not overly bright. Because it's a small area, you need that intense color to then use the Gamsol to wick it out. If I used a softer color in such a small area, you wouldn't see it. It would just kind of disappear if you used the Gamsol. You need that bright color. So there's absolutely a reason, without question, a reason for the fluorescence. What if I do his body in that fluorescent blue, and then add a little bit of my fluorescent green. Okay, see how I've left white space in between my blue and my green? Blue. And I'm gonna soften that up and kind of pull that out. And then green. Do I have a green? I have a green because I used a green. There we go. And I'm going to pull that green on in. Look at how pretty is that, right? And then maybe I use some of my pink. And some of my orange. This is going to be a very colorful hummingbird. And I'm always going to leave negative space. I've left negative space. So where you may be not so much a fluorescent type of person, I feel you. I get you. But there's definitely a reason for them. They really let you add that pop of color in smaller spaces. because you're starting with a more intense color to begin with. What do you think? That's fluorescent. I'm going to do one more, I think, in fluorescent. So let's grab this guy. The little welly boots, aren't they cute? And let's put these somewhere where I don't make a mess in case I need to grab them again. Let's grab my stamp positioner. So I've done this one with the pastels, and I've done this one with the fluorescents. And I'm gonna grab my little welly boots, as Claire calls them. She's like, oh, look at the cute little welly boot stamps. Is it gonna fit? How about by the hair of a chinny chin chin? But frankly, that's all we need it to fit by. Put my fluorescents right there and move that over here and move that over there. Okay, I think I've made myself some room again. And press down. And lift up. Ah. No, what did I didn't take the liner off. Oh, Stacy. Yeah, see, there you go. Look at that. Amazing what happens when you take the liner off your stamp. Holy smokes, artichokes. Crazy what you can do, huh? Okay. And ta-da! Poof! Now I can ink it up. And these stamps have never been used before, and I'm not even stamping off with them. That tells you the quality of your Stampendous stamps. And these stamps are made right here locally. I mean, like, well, not exactly down the street, but about an hour and a half down the street. That's not so far, right? And it's thick, so you don't have to push too far. There's not going to be a lot of play because the stamp itself is thick. And look at that, it's beautiful. Oh, it makes my heart so happy. So I'm glad we have these Vasen, the stamp positioners. All right, now let's go back and let's play with our bright colors again. And I mean, welly boots really are a bright, well, they can be a bright yellow, a bright pink. And I'm just going to go in there. And it's up to me how much color I want to use. Do I want to pull some of that color out, or do I just want to color them all yellow? A little bit of Gamsol. And I'm just going to smooth that color. Anywhere I see white, I'm going to move that color into. Kind of smooth it out so it doesn't look like crayons. And just like that, bam. It's that fast, it's that quick, it's that easy. If I want to make my welly boots a little bit darker in some areas, I just add more color, and I don't move it as much. I just kind of get rid of that demarcation line. Yay! Okay, let's do our second welly boot. And I can tell that it wants me to be a little darker back here because that's where the shading lines are. The stamp will help guide you. If you're a person who says, gosh, I don't know where the light source is coming from, I don't understand if the light's coming this way, where do I put my shadow, or if the light's coming this way or straight on. Most often the stamps will tell you what you're supposed to do because it's where they've put their little shading hashes or etchings. That tells you, oh, it's supposed to be darker back there and lighter towards the front. Okay, well, I can do that. Okay, well, I can do that. Now, do I want it a little darker? Maybe. On those hash lines, and I just come in and right over the top. And then just gently, ever so gently, just get rid of that little demarcation line so you don't even know it was there. Bam. Before you know it, you're going to be coloring like a pro. Like a pro. And then I could come back, if I wanted to, with my pretty little and do a couple of them in my purple. This is with my pastel, so I've got very bright welly boots. And then I'm going to do some tulips. And you can see that I'm just putting my color where I want it. I'll come back. So I've got them all colored and ready to go. And do my purples. So I've got my very soft pastel-y purples, but I can add a little more color to it if I want at the bottom, just so it's a little darker, just so you have a little bit more of that shading and shadowing look. So can you see I've added some purple back in at the bottom? And I'm just going to grab that and I'm not going to pull up too hard. I'm just going to kind of get rid of that demarcation line. Just like that. Boy, Ginger Rogers, everything Fred Astaire did, only backwards and in heels. I get that right now. And just soften those lines out. So I have a little more depth perception, but still have, oh, pretty, don't touch, stop, stop, Stacy, stop. And then let's do this pretty blue. So now I've got my pretty blues A little more depth perception, absolutely. A little more towards the bottom, a little more towards the bottom, a little more towards the bottom, and then just on that line, just a little bit of a blend. Now I've got my blues going. And last but not least, my pinks. This is pink. So my stubbies are kind of like my alcohol markers or my blending brushes, where I don't have a blending brush for every color I have. I have a blending brush for every color family. And that's kind of like my stubbies. So those are pretty light pink. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add just a little bit more pink at the bottom. And I've now used both my pastels and my bright fluorescents. So pretty. And then what color should we make? What color should we make the... Well, it can't hurt, right? It's orange. We'll just do orange. So I'm going to do my bright orange on my umbrella. And I'm following the lines of my stamp. And I'm leaving negative space. And now let's go in and orange. Orange. I know I have an orange here somewhere. That looks like an orange. I'm gonna sand this a little bit to get a little bit better stump. That looks pretty good. Some Gamsol. And let's pull that orange up, and it just softens as it goes up. Softens as it goes up. Look at how you can see the definition of the shadow, the midtone, and the highlight. Shadow, midtone, highlight. And I haven't done these over here yet. So let's go in and just get those done. And in no time at all, you are like a pro in coloring. So it doesn't matter what level crafter you are. And this is the fluorescent pencil, right? If I wanted to add a little more depth, I could add a little bit more pencil down below. Can you see how I've added a little more pencil? And then ever so gingerly, I'm just gonna kind of squishy on the line. Just so that demarcation line kind of just disappears and it blends away. Just a little, because I want to leave almost all that color down there to make that shadow even more pronounced, even more. How cute is that? Now, if we were doing this together and I wasn't teaching you, this would take you about 5 minutes of time. It goes quick, it goes fast because you're not using water, you're not using paintbrushes. You can go in, add your color, move it around with your Gamsol or not, and just keep going. Okay, so there's this one. And there's this one, and there's this one. That looks so good. Okay, we need to move on. So far I have played with the pastels and the neons. Now I'm going to bring out the metallics, and the metallics are a little bit different. They're the same, but they're different. They're the same quality, they're the same colored pencil, but they are different. And when I say metallic, I want you to know it's not like metallic, ooh, shiny, shiny, shimmery. It's not like metallic. It's like tones of metallic. It's like jewel tones. It's like, ooh, so pretty, but not reflective. Not much, at least. Not reflective or shimmery. These are their new metallic pencils. And you can already see what I mean by jewel tones. Look at those. They're beautiful. Are they crazy shiny? No. Are they crazy shimmery? No. Are they beautiful jewel tones? Oh yeah. Yeah, they are. Okay, so let's play. I'm going to take these, and I think we're going to show you, I'm going to show you a little bit more about them, and then we'll do something with them. So let's start with white paper. And I'm going to bring out this is my original set of 24s of the Bronzils. So these are the original colors. And I want to say there's a 36 set. I know we have a 12, a 24, and a 36. None of the colors are duplicated. So the colors in the neons, you're not going to find in any of the originals. The pastels, you're not going to find. These are brand new colors, brand new releases. And I'm going to play with some of these along with my metallics so you can get a better idea. Now, let's do the red. And let's pull kind of a red here. So I've got my metallic red, and the way you know the difference is it's in a black pencil. Works exactly the same. And here we have so one is definitely more red and one is definitely more pinkish, maybe not quite burgundy-ish. And then we take our Gamsol and we'll smooth them out. And you can do circles, however you want to get it smoothed on out. And then let's take a pink. And so you can see there's no shine or shimmer coming off of it. They're just two distinctly different colors. One of them being what they consider more of a metallic or jewel tone, and one being a regular color. Now I can go back over the top to add more color without using the Gamsol. Because I've put down a layer of wax, and my layer of wax was the first layer I did with the Gamsol. Now I can come back and color right over the top of it. And because it's such a large space, I don't even need to use the Gamsol because the color pencil is now already down on a layer. So I'm not going straight to paper. When I'm here on a second time, I'm actually layering on top of colored pencil. So it doesn't necessarily need to be smoothed out. Now, let me do that with the red too, just so you can see. So I can get a very intense, beautiful color. It doesn't, oh my, it doesn't look like I'm coloring with a crayon because I'm not coloring on top of a pencil or a paper. I'm coloring on top of a pencil. And maybe there you can see some of the shimmer. So this one has got just a little bit of a wink of a shimmer where the red is kind of, it's more flat. I don't know if I can get the shimmer. It's not much of a shimmer, but it is kind of a metallic-y color. And on white, that's kind of what they look like. Let's take the silver and let me grab the gray out of here, and let's do those on white as well. So here I've got my metallic silver. And here I've got my regular gray out of my 24 set. Now you can see a difference right away. The gray that I'm using has a brown undertone, whereas the silver from the metallic set does not. It looks like a true silver. Let's go ahead and let's add some Gamsol to these. Is that my silver? No, that's my purple. Is that my silver? It's going to be my silver now. Okay. So, oh, that's my pink. Oh yeah, that's my pink. How about we shave that off and get rid of my pink? And I'm just going to shave off that color. So I don't have that pink coming through. This is just a paper stump, so compressed paper. Okay, so now let's do my original color of my 24. Has that brown hue to it. It's a silver, but it's definitely got a brown undertone. And let's do my metallic silver. So I'm only doing half so you can see the difference between what it looks like if I use the Gamsol or if I don't use the Gamsol. Metallic, regular. And it's already dry, and you can kind of see that shine to it. On this one, you can kind of get a sheen to it, but you lose that sheen. Can you see here? You don't have that sheen, and the one above you do. You lose that sheen when you add the Gamsol, but I want to add it back in, and I still want it to look smooth. So I've softened my first layer with the Gamsol, And then I'm going to come back with my second layer. And because they're colored pencils, they work right on top of each other. You don't have to wait for anything to dry. And now I've got that, oh, can you see that sheen on both of them? Whereas you don't have that same sheen on your regular pencil, but you do get that little bit of a metallic glint on the metallic pencils. It's a matter of layering the color, and you can see this absolutely looks like a true metallic silver, whereas this one has a brown tone to it. So you can see, I don't know if I can get the sheen, you can see the sheen up here, but you can't there. And it's not much, but it does lend to the metallic look of them. Like I said, it's not reflective and it's not shimmery and it's not shiny, but it does lend to the metallic look of them. Let's see what happens when I do it on black paper. So I'm going to use the same colors I did. That way we have apples to apples. So let's do reds. So I started with my metallic. I don't know if they're calling it red or what they're calling it, but I've got it here. So okay, I think that's enough. And then let's do my regular pencil, colored pencil, Bronzil colored pencil in red. And you can already see there's a world of difference. The metallic pencil has kind of a silvery undertone to it, where the red is just that. It is red. Where this one is not. It's got that silvery coming through as opposed to on the white where it doesn't because it's on black. Now let's take our Gamsol, and I want you to see what's going to happen. So let me tilt on in and move on down, and hopefully you can see, because I can't tell what you can see. I'm going to take my Gamsol. And it's almost going to look chalky. It almost has a chocolatey look to it. And you're like, I don't think I like that. Okay, wait. Let me smooth that out. And let's do our red. Okay, can you see? When I add my Gamsol, it almost like it disappears. So the Gamsol on the black with the metallic gives you kind of a chocolatey look, and on the regular colored pencil, it almost disappears. But that's not how it has to stay. We can take, I want to keep my gray, I'm going to use my gray, and my gray, okay. I can take my metallic pencil and come back in over the top. And what I'm doing is layering my pencil down over my pencil that was originally put there. It's keeping it's now created a barrier between the paper, which allows me to add that color back in and gives me, it's still soft. It still doesn't look like it was colored with a crayon, but can you see the shimmer to it? Can you see it's got just a little bit, I don't want to, it's metallic is what it is. It's got just a little bit of metallic to it. So this I haven't done anything with. This I just colored. I didn't use Gamsol on it at all. This I colored, looked like that. I put some Gamsol over it. It turned very chalky, but then I came back and did a second layer. And because it's pencil on top of pencil, it went down smooth and it still gave me that metallic-y kind of look to it. Let's do the red. So the red, when I added the Gamsol, it basically disappeared. This, no Gamsol at all, Gamsol here. Come back in. And add my red over the top. And now there's a distinct difference between the two. This looks meh. It's okay, it's not great. This looks beautiful on the black. That's where the metallics really shine. And it's not just on black, it's on dark blues and even craft color. Anything that's got a little depth of color, they look amazing on. This looks okay, meh. I'm not overly jazzed about it. But this, that's beautiful. I don't want it to look like I colored it, so I took a little bit of Gamsol. Color, color, pink, pink. That's red. That's pink. I took a little bit of Gamsol, came in over the top. It melted that pencil into what looks like kind of a chalky mess. So colored pencil, straight on the black, metallic colored pencil with Gamsol, metallic colored pencil with Gamsol, and then a second coat. Right? So where's my red? That looks like my pink. Wow, my pink and my red are very close to each other. Okay, so. Okay. Regular colored pencil on black, regular colored pencil with Gamsol, regular colored pencil with Gamsol, and a second coat. There's definitely a difference. Let's do the silver. It's important that you see this. We're not making anything pretty and fabulous, but it's important that you see what happens. Because if you get these, if you buy these, and you get them home, and you try them, and you put Gamsol on it, and this is what you get, not knowing that you then just go back and re-go over the top of it to get that metallic color back, you're going to be disappointed. And I don't want you to be disappointed. I want you to be wahoo ka-choo. Yes, definitely wahoo ka-choo. Okay, so let's do our silver. So this is my metallic pencil. In my silver, and then let's get my regular colored pencil in my gray. So there are the two colors. Now let's add Gamsol. Gray and gray. Okay, so let's add my Gamsol first to my metallic. And it's going to change it pretty chalky. That's the best word I can just use to describe it, is that it does. It looks kind of chalky. And hey, if you need a look that's chalky, this is it. Okay, and then we'll do my regular colored pencil, non-metallic. And you can see what they look like. Not very pretty, kind of a hot mess. But then let's add a second coat. So I'm going to come back in with my silver. I'm going to sharpen my silver really quickly. This is a Bronzil sharpener. Bronzil sharpener. I do not have them for sale. This was part of a swag bag that they gave my son James because he really loves their colored pencils, and I want this sharpener. So I made a few phone calls, and because of the holiday weekend, I don't even know if they made this only for swag or if we're able to get them, but it's a weighted sharpener just for Bronzil pencils, and it comes with additional blades. Now, SMS guy James has told me I am not allowed to keep this. I'm not allowed to keep it. Wait for this. Okay, so let's just be clear. So I paid for the airfare to get him to the show. Paid for his hotel room while he was at the show, and he had his own room. All his food, all his expenses, everything paid for. And they gave him, from Royal Talents, they gave him this great backpack that was filled with just goodness. And he really loves Royal Talent product. He loves the Amsterdam paints. He loves the Bronzil. He loves the Fine Tech. He loves it all. And inside was this darling little sharpener that I don't think I can get. And I did not get a backpack, okay? Not me, him. And I have to give him back his little Bronzil pencil sharpener. I'm like, dude, really? Really? But yes. He's gonna be 21 on the 20th. And I'm like, okay, we need to have a talk. He's so cute. He really is. He put on his desk the stuff that he brought back. Do not touch. So none of the SMS girls get in. They don't touch it. Okay, where were we? Sorry. Okay, so colored pencil metallic, the silver with Gamsol, regular colored pencil gray with Gamsol. Now I'm going to go back over the top after I've sharpened my lovely silver with James's sharpener. If I can get them, we'll sell them because it's really lovely. It's a great sharpener, and I was told it was just swag. It's like, well, wait a minute, they're a pencil company. How can they not make a sharpener? Hello? So Now I've added my color back in, and again, you can see the metallic there. You can see it. If I was to add some Gamsol over the top, it would soften it again. And then I could add my pencil back on top. And then let's do my gray. So there's a world of difference there. This now really does look metallic when you put it against one of their regular colors. It really does have a metallic glisten to it. It's tones of metallic. It's not shimmer, shiny. Let's go ahead and do just so you can see. And suppose I could probably still use the same gray for both of them, but look at that. I really want you to see what happens. It just kind of disappears. Okay, I think that's good. So here you have the metallic straight onto paper. Here you have the regular colored pencil straight onto paper. Here you have the metallic with Gamsol over the top, giving you a base. Here you have the gray with the Gamsol over the top, giving you a base. And then here's a second coat of gray and a second coat of metallic. So you can see the difference that the metallics make. And that's going to hold true for your fluorescents as well. Your pastels are going to be too soft really to work on the black. They're just so soft in color. But yes, you can absolutely, let's put my pencils back before I get into trouble. Because the fluorescents are so intense in color, but you're going to have the same experience. If I take it here's the metallic, I think what they would call a metallic red. And let's do the metallic, or I'm sorry, the fluorescent red. And let's do the fluorescent yellow. So I know this is a lot of time on pencils, but this isn't it. I mean, they're not hugely expensive, thankfully, because they don't come from the scrapbook world, but it is your money. And I want you to see why you use them and how you use them. This isn't just here, let me put something together and it's pretty and there it is. You need to understand why the product works the way the product works so that when you go to work with it, you are most successful. So a little bit of Gamsol. This is my fluorescent. Again, it's going to kind of wipe it away. Not as much as your regular color. And I know I have a fluorescent yellow here. Because the color is so intense, it doesn't wipe it away nearly as much as the regular colored pencils do on black. So there. Regular, or just colored on and then Gamsol. Color on, Gamsol. Okay, then we'll take my colors again and come back. And this time I'm laying color on top of colored pencil, so it's got that waxy finish. It's smooth. It's not going to give you those lines as if you were drawing straight onto paper. It lets you build that color in. And let's do my yellow. And for the price of these, yes, there's lots of colored pencils on the market, absolutely. But not all pencils are the same. And these come from a company that is so globally well respected. Brunswick is amazing. Okay. And then let me do okay, and then let me do oh, Stacy, too much. Too much. Oh my gosh, okay. Too much. Way too much. Oops. And my yellow. Well, that Gamsol really got on there and did it out. Okay, so here we go. My fluorescent colored, Gamsoled, and layered again. Colored, where you can still see the black coming through, Gamsoled, and layered again, versus my metallics. Metallic here, regular colored pencil here, regular colored pencil there. Nothing wrong with any of them. It's just how do you use them to the best of their advantage? How do you make the most out of them? So let's stamp something. Okay, so I think I'm going to stamp I've got this one, super pretty. Let's pull over my positioner and pull off my stamp and put it here so I don't lose it. And this time, let's take off the liner. What do you think? Yay? And I am gonna do them on black. So, give myself plenty of room this time. And butt that up to the top and down I go and press. And you're like, you're gonna stamp on black paper? Yeah, we're gonna do it a couple different ways. The first thing I want to do is I want to use my Hero Arts India, or my Unicorn ink. Unicorn ink from Hero Arts is a white based ink. It is, in our opinion and lots of other people's opinion, it is the best white ink out on the market for a pigment based ink. This isn't a solvent based ink. Cotton White StazOn is the best for that. But if you use your alcohol markers with Cotton White StazOn, you're going to make a mess. The pigment-based ink sits on top. It doesn't absorb into, it sits on top. So if I had a dye-based ink and I rubbed it on my paper, a dye-based ink is meant to absorb into paper and you're never going to see it again on black. For black paper, you need a pigment-based ink. So typically your golds, your silvers, your coppers, your rose golds, your bronzes, your whites are a pigment-based ink because it sits on top and it will dry, absolutely, but it doesn't just seep into your paper. So I'm going to ink this up with my Hero Arts, my unicorn ink. And let's get that out of my way, and then let's give a press. And because this stamp is so thick, if you're using the Vassin, I gotta learn how to pronounce it properly. It's not gonna give much, there's not gonna be any give at all. You're just gonna give a nice press. And then let's pull up. And there's my image. And you can see it's a nice image for white ink. But it is a pigment-based ink. And what does that mean? That means if I'm too quick with it, it's gonna smear. You're like, did you just do that? Yes, yes I did. So how long does it take it to dry? It takes a couple minutes for it to dry. It does. Let's do this again. And let's Stacy, let's re-ink up. It does have a re-inker. Yes, we do sell the re-inker for it. And if you're looking for a good white pad, it's a good white pad. It's the best that we've ever used. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, I really don't. Move my magnet a little bit. Okay, press, press, press. Okay, and there I go. Now I'm going to set this aside for a few minutes. I could take my heat gun and in literally no time at all, I could throw the heat tool on it and it'll be dry. I mean, you just have to really go over it like that and be done. But I'm going to set it aside for a minute and pull out another piece of black paper, maybe two, because we are using a pigment-based ink. And that means I'm able to use embossing powder with it. So if you don't think that this is white enough for you, or you want to add an embossing element to it, which means that as opposed to it being flat, which is what this is, yeah, we're pretty good. See, it didn't take long. As opposed to this being flat, when I add embossing powder to it, which is a ground plastic, it's going to melt when I heat it and give me a raised feeling to it. And because I'm using a pigment-based ink, I don't have to use a Versamark. I can come in here and still use my unicorn ink. Ink, 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 ink. And stamp, stamp, stamp. Stamp, stamp, stamp. And then throw on my embossing powder. Now I'm using a white embossing powder. I could go over this with clear, but it's not going to help the white be any whiter. And embossing powder may not be the thing for you. So you may choose to just stamp in the white ink. It's so pretty. Or because that white ink is a pigment-based ink, it's going to stay wet long enough for me to put on some embossing powder. And I'm a dumper, so I know you're like, how much embossing powder do you need on that? Well, and then my tap, 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 tap. The thing I like about using a white ink with a white embossing powder is that if I miss somewhere, what happens if I miss somewhere and I didn't get my embossing powder down, like maybe right there? Yep, I sure did. That's okay because I've got white ink underneath it. It's not going to be so noticeable that I have to do it again. Okay, so let's heat set this. So what I've put down is a ground plastic, and I've used a detailed white. And the reason I used the detailed white is because it's been ground so fine that it clings to all of the little nooks and crannies. A standard embossing powder and a detailed embossing powder, if they're both gold, they're the same thing. The difference is how finely ground one is. With a standard embossing powder, the granules are going to be a little thicker. Now to the eye, you may go, oh, they look exactly the same. But when you heat it, you will see the bigger the granules, the more the embossing powder is going to spread, and you will lose all of that little detail clinging onto those words. With a detailed embossing powder, the granules are so fine that they just melt, they don't spread. So let's take it and let's add our heat tool. This is not a blow dryer. A blow dryer will not get hot enough. And I'm going to heat until it all turns. And I can see it changing from a powder to a solid. I can see the white brightening up and getting a gloss finish to it. And anywhere I see kind of a dull mark, I know that I didn't add enough heat. So here we have stamped white. Here we have stamped white and embossed white. There is a difference. It just depends upon which one you're okay with. I could stamp on top of this a second time and get that white a little bit more intense. Let's see if I'm able to do that efficiently. So let's ink up. Nope. Turn my paper, Stacy. Hello. I'm like, that's not gonna work. And I like to put it up against my jig so it doesn't move. So my paper's got I made a little jig out of washi tape. Put my magnets down. Stamp. Lift up. It looks pretty good, and I can try to stamp again and see how we do. And now I am even whiter than I was. And I could let this dry and stamp again and keep layering that white until I have a white that I'm happy with. So let's see. I think you'll be able to see this. So this is one stamp with white unicorn from Hero Arts. This is 2 stamps. So I went over the top and did a double stamp. Can we see the difference? And then this is embossing powder over white ink. So you have your choice. How much work do you want to put in? I don't think double stamping is that much work, quite frankly. To get a better white, I think it's totally worth it. But I also like to emboss because then you've got this really sharp white. But you choose, and then you get to color. Then you can take your metallic pencils and you can go in. Let's use gold. You can go in and I'm using the metallic gold for the bird cage, the front of it. And I can leave it like that, or if I want to add a second coat, a little bit of Gamsol, kind of soften it out, smooth it out so it doesn't look like it was a crayon. So it's lightened that gold up quite a bit. And now I can come back in and add a second coat. That's going to give you a smooth finish because I'm on top of pencil as opposed to paper. And now you can see that kind of metallic-y look to it. I can come in I can color my flower this purple, and then a little bit of Gamsol to kind of smooth it out. And then, in fact, I'm going to put a little bit of gold in the center. A little bit of gold in my center. Come back in with my purple again. and start laying my color down so that I'm coloring on black. The fluorescence will work as well. Color my little bird. I'm just going to color my whole bird blue. I just colored the whole bird blue because I'm going to take that Gamsol and I'm going to lift up almost all of that color. And then I can come back with my blue and my green. And I'm just laying my green on top of my blue. I just used that blue to color the whole thing, so I had a waxy coat ready to go. And how about pink? Now I'm coloring my bird. So there's tons to be done, absolutely. I could do my flower in my fluorescent. And let's use that fluorescent yellow for my center. So this is just right on top of the white stamp. Now let's take my Gamsol and let's smooth it out. Can you use the metallic on white paper? Of course you can. We did. Looks great on white. Metallic, not metallic. Metallic, not metallic. But I want you to know that you have an option to use it on black too. Okay, so I smoothed it out. Kind of looks a little chalky. Remember, they're not gonna look great until you go back in. And let's add some color back. And it's going to stay smooth because I'm working on top of wax. And let's grab that yellow. Hello, yellow. Where'd you go? Thank you very much, yellow. And you just make it yours. This is so doable. Let's go in with a metallic blue. And I'm just getting a first coat down because I'm going to use that Gamsol to soften it out and make my base coat. You don't have to. I mean, you could just leave it this way if you want. Totally up to you. But I'm going to use that Gamsol to soften it out. It's going to kind of make it disappear a little bit. But it softens out all those lines. Kind of makes it look a little chalky. But then I'm going to come back through with that blue and add a second coat on top. And that's going to define and deepen that color. It's going to cement that metallic-y look to it. So when you think of metallic, these are tones of metallic, not bling or shimmer. I didn't mean to go out of my lines. But now I've got that metallic-y going on. And you choose. What works best for you? Do you like it on the black? I happen to like it on the black. Black paper is so underutilized. I love the embossing. I think that just looks beautiful. And I could continue on and go in and do my leaves. And I would absolutely just do a little bit of Gamsol on them. Just so you can pop a little bit more of the color on it. Zoop, zoop. Just kind of softens them. Oh, I could do these big ones over here too. And because it is embossed, I just can color right on top. And a little bit of Gamsol. And then I can come back in, and this is the fluorescent, and because it's got such intensity of color, you're going to be able to see it on the black. Yay? Nay? You choose. Very soft. Very bright. Very happy. Okay. We have to move on. So I've been playing with the new sets from Brunzil. They're colored pencils. They are, oh, that's a fluorescent. They have 3 new sets. The neons or fluorescents, neons. The pastels, which are so pretty on the paper, and the metallics. Oops. Metallic, 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 metallic. And the pricing is so darn reasonable. And remember, we did this with the pastels. And we did this with the neons. Yeah, right? But we also did this with the neons and the pastels. And then we started to play with the metallics to understand how the metallics work and what you can expect from them. And in between all of that, we've been using the stamps from Stampendous for Mini Slimline. So let me show you the dies really quick. We have 3 new Mini Slimline dies from Simple and Basic. This is a new, the one we originally had was a double dot or a double piercing. This is a single. Then we have the new one with the stars, with the hearts, and then I brought back the envelope. The envelope sold out so quickly, and again, we do not have a huge amount, but I want to show you how these cut. They're easy, they're fun, they just look so good. So let's take the hearts and let's, what do you think? Should we do that? So it's a nested heart, so you're able to do layers and mats. The largest one is the one that is going to perfectly fit all the new Stampendous stamps. How do I know it's gonna fit? Because I sent them the dies. I said they have to go with these dies. So Fran, bless her heart, she measured them out and she made the stamps that are gonna coordinate perfectly. This is a magnetic platform. Does not come with your machine, but I'm gonna be using it today because it allows my die to stay where I put it. So as opposed to having to tape anything down, it stays where I put it because it's a magnetic platform. Sold separately, unless you buy the machine from us, we do a bundle with it. I'm gonna put on a top plate because everything we do, we sandwich. And then I'm gonna send this on through. These are not intricate dies. I might do a rotate because they've got all those little hearts in there. So I might just flip it around and send it back because I've got all those little hearts in there. Oh, so super cute. Well, I'm not gonna go and get all my hearts out, but you get the idea. How cute is that, right? So I've got that one with the hearts, and then how about this one? You think I have room to get this one done with the stars? It's gonna be tight. Oh, by a hair. Let's see if I can get it through. By a hair. Love the mini slims because you can do a mini slim or you can add it onto a standard size slim. And the girls have done lots of that in the samples that I have for you where they've taken the minis. Look at that. It fits these stamps perfectly thanks to Stampendous. Let's see if I send it on through, if I'm close enough. This would be the hearts, brand new from Simple and Basic. And let's do a quick rotate. And let's see what we get. Oh, so cute. They're just the tiniest little stars. They almost look like dots. Hey, they're just the tiniest little stars on the sides. Really so cute. And then we have the single stitch here. So let's do this one in the single stitch. Or it's not, it's a single dot. And again, I'm using my magnetic platform. If you do not have a magnetic platform and you don't want to invest in one, I get it. Then you're going to use the platforms that come with the machine. So this is my Sizzix Big Shot machine. You can use your platforms with a Big Shot, a Big Kick, a Plus, a Pro, a Fabby, a Vintage. How old is your machine? They now come with a base plate and a solo shim. I'm going to lay those down. I'm going to put down my cut plate. My paper is not going to be held in place because there's nothing magnetic here. So when I line it up, I either need to take a little bit of washi tape or some maker's tape from Sizzix. I'm going to line it up, and I'm a girl who flies by the seat of her pants. So I'm just going to put this, drop this down and send it through. And as I send it through, it's going to cinch, and I'm going to let it go. And we're going to see how close I came. Because, well, I'm a girl who flies by the seat of her pants. Now, this doesn't have anything that pops out. So there's no hearts or no stars. So I don't think I need to go back and forth because I'm not trying to get anything out. But it does leave just a very nice little dotted edge. And again, you can see the stamps fit. They're made for it. Well, they literally are made for it. Like, seriously. Sometimes I just have an idea, and I'm very lucky that the manufacturers will say, okay. Right? And this was done with the new pastels. Can you imagine how pretty that would be? But I also want to show you, let's see. So I did this one, and I did this one, and I did this one. I also want to show you how that envelope works. So it's a 2-piece envelope. Very, 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 very easy. Let's grab a piece of paper. Trim it down. For those of you who already have the envelope, you know it's a great little envelope. It makes like a little coin envelope, but you can close it 2 different ways. So let's put my paper down. Well, yeah, put my paper down, my die down. Plate over the top. Make sure that my plate is covering my entire die. It's close. For those of you who have a Plus machine or a new Switch machine, this is going to sail through easy peasy. Let's see how close I get. Rolls through kind of like butter. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Let's see if I got it through on the first go round. Oh, sure did. It has the scoring lines already in there. So now all I got to do is be able to see them. Oh, there's one. There's 2. Maybe black paper was not my best friend. That's okay. I'll just keep squinting until I can see the line. Oh, there's 3. There we go. 3. I found it. And come on. There we go. There we go. I got them all. So, as you can see, it doesn't have anything right there. That's where that second die comes into play. This die right here is what finishes it off. So let's just cut that super fast. So envelopes can be tricky sometimes because sometimes they want you to do, 3 or 4 cuts to make a single envelope. Not this one. 2 cuts and you're done. And that goes right on top. So this is where your options come in. You can have it fold this way so that it opens like a traditional envelope, or you can have it open this way so it's like a coin envelope. This is so nice and so useful. And then, so let's just take some tape really quickly and just put it down so everything's kind of in place. So a little bit there. And a little bit there. You would do a much better job than me. I'm just trying to get this down so I can show you. And I've done it like a coin envelope. And then let's take this one. Well, then I've got these. So a little bit here. A little bit there. Close it up. My coin envelope is made. And then let's take that ooh, I'm short. That'll fit, but it's too narrow. So let's do the pinking, or the pierced one with the little dots, and we'll cut this out. I'm a hair bit short on my paper, but I'm gonna live with it. Shh, don't tell anybody. Let's bring my machine back, and then let's cut this one. And I'm not using my magnetic platform, so I'm gonna have to line this one up pretty good. And I would recommend you use a little washi tape or a Sizzix Maker's tape. I'm gonna fly by the seat of my pants, and away we go. Okay, I'm just gonna go. It's only paper. I've cut it out. And now I have my option of either decorating the front of my envelope or putting it in my envelope, or both. That's why the dies are so important, because if you get the envelope, these go perfectly. They fit perfectly. So the largest star, and the largest heart. And these are going to be able to mix and mingle. They're all going to layer within each other. The ones you currently have, you're going to be able to mix with these so that you can take something and add stars or hearts to it wherever you want. They will all nest within each other, and then they nest on top of the envelope, or they fit into the envelope. And again, I made it a coin envelope. I could have instead just changed the fold and made it more like a traditional envelope. And of course, this is still gonna fit in there. If it fits one way, it fits both ways. No tape, but that's okay. You get the gist. So options aplenty. Great little envelope. Easy to make, super easy to make. And you can use it for just about anything. All right, you guys, well, we did a lot and we played with a lot, and hopefully we learned a lot. You know, white once, white stamped twice, white embossed, what makes your heart happy? Pastels, neons, metallics, why the metallics work the way they do, and what you should expect from them, especially on black. All right, so let me show you what's on sale, and then I will show you all the amazing samples that we have. So first off, we've got the Brunzil new collection. So I've got the neons, the metallics, and the pastels. We will sell these open stock, but we will also sell them as an I Want It All bundle. And if I can get my hands on the Brunzil, if I can get my hands on the pencil sharpener, I will let you know. So open stock or I Want It All, your choice. Beautiful pencils, reasonably priced. I mean really reasonably priced. Oh, that one's closed. Okay, can't show you that one. Then I have the dies from Simple and Basic. I'm gonna do the 3 new ones, open stock and I Want It All. We have very limited available on these. So I'll do some open stock and some I Want It All, and we'll do the envelope open stock only because many of you may already have it. So I'm not gonna include it in the I Want It All because you might already own this. Really great. The next 3 from Mini Slimline, Simple and Basic. Then I have the exclusive custom-made Mini Slimline stamps from Stampendous, and there are 6 of them. Today I used 4, I think. I didn't show you, I don't think I showed you this one. And I don't think these are the 2 that I used, but you'll see them in the samples. So an I Want It All, if you love them all, or just one if you love just one. We'll do the Hero Arts Unicorn ink on sale with the re-inker. I'll do the white embossing powder in case you don't have any. We'll do the Gamsol kit for you on sale. And I'll put we still have a few left of the Vassin stamp platforms left, so we'll do those too. All right, let's do samples because I've got oodles of them. Make sure that I am. There we go. Okay, so here we go. So pretty. just little tags. Here we've done a frame, so we nested 2 of the Simple and Basic nesting dies together, and by putting 2 of them through, we were able to cut out a frame. Pop that frame up. And here I have got thank you, and inside I've got the card and then the envelope. Isn't that nice? And look at it, all nests, everything works well together. It just all plays well together from Simple and Basic. Again, another frame using the Simple and Basic dies by taking 2, putting them together, rolling them through. What happens is you get a solid piece this size and a frame here. Here we've taken it and done a full Slimline card and used it, again, another frame, used it in the center to add your embellishment to a full Slimline card. Cute little tag. Another beautiful full Slimline card using, again, all the stamps are the stamps from Stampendous, and they're all meant to go. And actually this one's popped up, so here's the frame that you get, and here's the second piece. So when you put two nesting dies together and cut it, that's what you get. Thinking thoughts of you, so cute. Here's the little, look at, there's the little, look at how cute that is with the little hearts. That's the Simple and Basic. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Thinking thoughts of you, I love that. And again, Simple and Basic with the tiniest little stars around it. Just the, I mean, tiny, teeny little guys, they're so cute. And this is just embossed, not colored at all, but done on a full Slimline size card. And for the ladies who don't want to color, here is James's. He didn't have time, he was away at the show. So he did this like first thing this morning when he got here. First thing, James's card. For the ladies who don't want to color, you don't have to. Ta-da! Here we have another, again with the hearts all the way around. And here we've got the welly boots. So the stamp from Stampendous, and it's been embossed in white, and then the colored pencils to color it in. And here we've just used the Simple and Basic to make some creative layering. That's all we've done, is made some creative layering out of those dies with just 2 sheets. Well, you've got 1 sheet of paper. I bet this is the back side of that. I'm almost positive. But a sheet of paper and some creative matting by using the dies that nest into each other. And here we have Hello Sunshine. Again, done with the bronzeal colored pencils. And then my next set of samples, holy smokes artichokes, we have oodles and oodles of samples. Okay, I think I showed you this one in the beginning, but it's stunning. All done on vellum, beautiful. A Slimline with the little hearts going all the way around, the Stampendous stamp done on a full Slimline. Beautiful little tag. Another beautiful little tag. But I want to show you the contrast. Look at the difference. Same stamp. 2 different looks. This has been fussy cut out. You have options. So pretty. Just white. So pretty. Oh, they fussy cut that out. Bless their pea picking heart. Oh, and look at this one. Look at how pretty is that. See, I told you it goes on the craft paper beautifully. Those are the neons. So pretty. You can see the girls enjoyed making samples. Look at the little hearts, gold embossing powder, colored pencils. This has got the little hearts all around it. We've got with the neons on that hummingbird or the metallics. Ooh, I don't know. It's one of the two. Hello, sunshine. Happy birthday. How pretty. And then last but not least, for someone special, ooh, right? There's the envelope. Here's the card. The girls did a coin edge or a coin envelope. In it goes. And to someone special. They pull it out, and this is what they get. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Now, the simple and basic are kind of hard to find in the States. There's not many companies that carry them, so you're only going to get them here. The Hero ink you might be able to find at your local retailer. The Unicorn ink should be available almost everywhere. The Brunzil are brand new. They will eventually be at your local independent retailer should they carry the Royal Talons brand, but for now we've got them as well as the stamps from Stampendous. They're exclusive to us right now because I requested them and helped with them, but they will eventually be made available to all independent retailers. So we certainly appreciate you shopping with us. Absolutely. We make payroll every week. Trust me, I have to make payroll every week. But if you have the opportunity to shop with an independent local retailer, if you still have that brick and mortar store available to you, go stop by and say hi. Maybe they have the Hero Arts ink. Maybe they have some Stampendous stamps that make your heart happy. Or maybe you tell them you'd like to have the new ones that you saw on this class and they order them for you. We absolutely value each and every one of you, but we also absolutely value all the other independent retailers out there. Now, if you don't have an independent retailer to go say, hey, then we appreciate you shopping online. And again, even if it's not with us, find a small online business, small mom and pop, just trying to keep the doors open and make payroll on Friday. They will appreciate you and value you every bit as much as we do here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I will see you all next week.